Dipping electrified cables into the water while standing on a metal boat is just another day at the office for those who work in the state's fisheries division.
So I use it to manage my fish populations, and then I give it to the public so they can know where to go to fish.
It's a method called electrofishing. Since it's impossible to check on the well-being of certain fish populations while they are underwater, Kansas Department of Wildlife, Parks and Tourism fisheries biologist Eli Sprinkle brings them to the top.
Most bass, they don't move around much. We don't catch them very well in the nets. So this way we go out and shock them.
Anybody who's ever owned a goldfish knows that when they float, well, it's time to go back to the pet store. However, when a fish goes belly up around this specially modified boat, they'll live to see another worm.
And it stuns the fish, and they float up where we can net them.
The front boom acts as a positive, the aluminum boat acts as a negative. This creates an electrified current in between the two, and any fish that swims nearby becomes immobile as a result. Sprinkle plots out his plan ahead of time, choosing random areas to sweep for a diverse sample. The team is on the hunt for bass today. Other species that show up during the 10-minute runs, like channel cat, crappie, bluegill, and shad, get left behind. Shocked fish, though, typically recover anywhere from 30 seconds to 2 minutes after swimming into the current. In the world of science, they say you can't manage what you don't measure. So after all the fish are netted, they're brought back to a quiet corner of the lake. That is where all the data is then recorded.
So we're looking at how many fish. We're looking at the size structure of the fish, the different size structures, so you'll have an idea of how well they're growing and the size of fish. And then we're looking at fish health, too. So we're getting a lot of variables here with just, this short sample.
And within minutes of entering the boat's holding tanks, today's catch are released back into the water, completely unharmed. While the electrofishing doesn't hurt the fish, the environment they return to is under constant stress thanks to the ever-growing number of invasive species found in Kansas waters.
I've heard people want to bring zebra mussels because they'll clear up the water. Well, it may make the water a little bit clearer, but it's also going to hurt the fish populations because it's removing the food out of the water. That's why the water is clear.
Sprinkle says invasive species such as aquatic plants and even silver carp could fundamentally change how we use bodies of water in Kansas because of their destructive nature. While most aquatic hitchhikers arrive by accident, he says one of his current challenges, at least for now, is due to shad, a popular bait fish often dumped into the water by fishermen with good intentions.
People think they're going to help the fish population, because there'll be more forage. But but you saw the shad today, none of the crappie we saw today could eat any of the shad we saw today.
Like any outdoorsman, Eli and his team love it when a big fish turns up in the sampling process. At Shawnee State Fishing Lake, a body of water he manages for big bass, it's a sign that he's doing something right. But he looks at each body of water differently, based on many different factors.
This lake does great for big bass. The smaller lake I manage, 24 acres, so I manage it for high numbers of bass. If you wanted to take a kid fishing, it'd be a great place to go because he's going to catch some bass.
With photojournalist Rick Felsberg, Chris Fisher, 13 News.